This is the tricky Trenta puzzle from Christoph Lohe, and it's sold in two configurations that I've seen. In one, there are two captive pieces that are inside and you put a third piece in, or all three pieces are in and you disassemble. To do it, if you build this, to do it as an assembly puzzle, I think is very, very tough. I don't think I'd be able to do it. Now, we'll look at the different configurations, and one of the things, if you are making your own puzzles, and I'm having a tutorial on making such a puzzle in Fusion 360 for anyone who's interested, but if you make your own puzzles, I really think that it's advantageous to make a removable top. This one has magnets, which snap on and are pretty strong, which allows you to reset the puzzle. Now, for me, it doesn't remove any of the joy of solving it. I often take a lot of dead ends, and it's just a quick way to get back to sort of a home position. Now, I've color-coded my pieces. You'll find this is sort of a magic piece here. This is an initial configuration of these two that you'll see here. So when you start, basically, these two are put inside, and then you add the yellow piece I have here. But as a captive piece, I think what happens is that there's a rotation which happens with my blue piece. Let's see if I can get it here. And I think you probably see it sold with those two as a captive piece. Blue already has one rotation, and this piece is inserted. That's your task. So the first hint is that this is the piece that goes in last, or if you're disassembling, this is the one that comes out first. So that's the first hint. Now we're going to treat this as a disassembly puzzle. And I'll take this apart, go back to my home position, which is these two here. And this yellow piece comes in like this. So if you have a removable top or you're building your puzzle and you haven't glued it together, that is the setup of these. And you can put that in any order. And I'll put my top on. So this is the orientation of the solid pieces here. And this is the orientation, my starting orientation for all the C-shaped. So hint number 2 is that there is a shortcut about half to 2/3 of the way through removing this yellow piece. And it's what some would not consider a great solution, and we'll look at why that is. But hint number 2 is that you can use all linear moves on this. When you remove this piece, it will rotate, that is, you'll just twist one of the ends, and then you free it. So there's no other rotations in removing this piece. So that's hint number 2. The last hint is that once you get this out, getting these two out might be actually harder than getting the first piece out, and that's rare in most puzzles. There are 2 rotations that are required. You must rotate one of these 2 pieces, and then you have to actually do something which you might not consider rotation. It's actually tilting these 2 and rotating, and you can free one piece. So those are all the hints. If you've gone down some of this road, I really encourage you to try to solve it and stick with it over the days or weeks. It's a joy to learn all the movements. But if you want a solution, stay tuned. So let's look at a solution. You can almost shake this and we start on the solution. This green piece will come out first, and then you can lift the blue piece upwards. From here, you'll notice a notch here. You want that over the frame. So you go down a little bit, and as you push it into the frame, all three pieces will move to the right. You can see that this yellow piece will go all the way down into the frame. And then you can free up by pulling on this green piece, and you can get that up and out of the way. From there, we want to get the blue piece off, but you'll see it's captured by the yellow piece here. So we need to bring the yellow piece up 1 unit, and then the blue piece should, you may have to fiddle with this, and I have to push the green piece over before it will slide. There we go. Now from this point, you can move this back down and out of the way again. But what we're going to try to do is we're going to pull this now upwards. And we want the yellow piece to go back into a position where I can pull this up through the yellow piece like this. So I had to slide this over. And now I can push the yellow piece over and sort of get it down and out of the way. Now I'm going to push this over, free it. This was over against this rail, over to the middle. And here is the first rotation that is sometimes considered a little illegal. And that is, you can tilt this up, and this will tilt, and you can take it up. You can actually take it out. However, we're not going to consider that part of the legal solution. So right now I have them all stacked on top of each other, as you can see here. And what I'm going to do is move this yellow piece all the way down here. So I'm going to move this over. And down. So now I'm going to take this yellow piece down, and I can actually lift it up and push everything upwards. And I'm going to slide it down so it ends up way over here. So my next strategy is to just rotate it out, but I need a space right in here. So I've got to have all this moved over to the right-hand side. Well, the way we do that is to get the green piece up in this position. And you'll notice a notch in here. I'm going to move this over into the rail, but I've got to slide it back and into the rail. So what we'll notice here is that I have a space on top. You'll see the hole here. And I can move this back, and that will rotate and just come out there. Well, as I mentioned, these two captive pieces are tough to remove. And you really should attempt to remove those on your own and spend as much time as you want. It's a really unique solution to get these out. There's one rotation that's very easy to find, and you'll be not sure if you're supposed to do it or not because you won't be able to find the solution, but yes, you need to do that easy rotation. Okay, so if you want to continue, let's look at how we get rid of these two pieces. We'll move these back into the inside, and the easy rotation is with this blue piece, you'll grab the solid end, and you'll just be able to rotate this fairly easily. And you'll almost think that it can rotate the other way, but it won't go that way. So you rotate it that way. Now, the very tricky part of this is if you move these around a little bit, you'll get a position where the green will pop out here on this side, like this, with the blue staying inside. So I don't quite have it yet. Oh, I guess, sorry, I'll want the C out side with this down. Now, the tricky part of this rotation is that you must move this upwards, tilted upwards at 45 degrees as you rotate this. So, let's take a look at how this works. There. So you can see that we've rotated that up a little, and we've got a little rotation there. And as I move that back, it will come right out. And the light may not be good here. You may have to work at that. And you can see that that has rotated right out through. There's no scraping. It just rotates in, rotates out. And then you can just remove this piece and remove that piece. The solution to the Trenta.